Hi, it's 6:44 Mountain Time here in Utah. I've been eating some popcorn. But anyway, this message is for Lynn. Lynn, when baby Sherry Nicole Rogers, my baby sister, died, she died as a targeted individual. That means you are a non-consensual human test subject, a humans testing subject for the government, non-consensually, against your will. Okay? And because hers was international, I had CIA. But when I had to handle her case, when she was convinced to commit suicide, which is whether you believe in it or not, is a spiritual law. That's still besides the point. I'm here to tell you that's the day when I went into that office, to that compound, trying to see my sister so I could have my goodbyes. But since I'm not a Muslim, I wasn't given that right. I was told I'd have to give him $325 when I'm on Christmas break and I don't get paid for 3 weeks during that Christmas winter break for the school district. So I was denied access to see my own sister. I wasn't even allowed to identify the body. They claimed that they had the ID, which they didn't, because I found it at the bottom of a closet in a backpack at the bottom of the backpack. But that's what they do. My job is to burst your bubble, you and everyone else. Our government is not anything to be trusted. They're not people or anyone to be trusted. World War II, they just went into the fold, American. Okay? They're just cut up into regions. It's a Nazi program. They just changed the name, kind of like the Kardashians. They changed the branding. But that day when I went in, trying to convince them to let me see my sister, even though I was told by the morgue she had decayed too much. They did show me pictures. And it was a deputy coroner who conducted the autopsy on her without any licensed medical doctors, pathologies, whatever, on the compound, supervising. That goes on with impunity. But when I went there and I left, that's when I was, what's the term? This is a nanotech. It's made by NASA. I spent $4,000 to prove who the patent holders are. It's government. Okay, it's, they call it synthetic biology at the Human Health Services, at the Obama Presidential Bioethics and Emerging Technologies. It's a mix of biology, genetically modified engineering, and mechanical engineering, usually way above most people's heads and brains to think about, conceive, let alone figure it out. But that's what they did to me when I went there. The deputy coroner who conducted the autopsy on baby Sherry Nicole Rogers' body, so, he was also a germaphobe. I could see why. Doesn't like to touch anyone, and then asked me if he could give me a hug goodbye. That's when I don't know what you want to call it, installed, whatever, put it on me. And that's when I got the nanotech, Morgellons. And I've been working with people that are PhDs, doctors, toxicologists, people who work in these areas, who work in the industrial areas of hygiene and the laws to diagnose this and let me know who the patent holders are. And I could have gone through the lawsuits through them. But my point to all of this is to say I've been studying all of this medical stuff in nauseam, the laws, the military, since this happened to me in January of 2009. So I don't like it when people are brainwashed. This is brainwashing tyranny. I should know I'm a victim of my government and the international communities who are all militarized and weaponized. I'm a victim of them. We all are. So to tell me you trust them, I don't trust them. They killed and murdered my sister. The same with my aunt. For 1 minute, she's like diagnosed with cancer and 4 months later was gone. Give me a break. This is how I learned, by being their victim. There's a lot going on, but I'm not going to grant it or bless it or let anybody think it's okay. It's not. Mangala, their experimentation, it's real. It's more than real. It's because they want the oligarchies, when they talk about transhumanism, merging man with machine, the brain interface, transplants, the chips, they're not kidding. They talk about extending life, but not for us. It's for the rich, the oligarchies, the elites. They've been doing this for a very, very long time. I can tell you they've been doing it in earnest since World War II, when they learned all this stuff from Nazi Germany, the occultish Nazi Germany. Yes, there is a mix. Besides the other fact that we are still owned, the United States is still owned by the Queen of England and the Vatican, and now international bankers. I'm like questioning, where was the quote-unquote revolution? If we're still owned by the Queen of England and Vatican and paying taxes to them, along with the other 5 countries, which are the 5 sisters, the 5 Eyes, which stands for their intelligence agencies, which is America, Canada, Britain, Australia, and New Zealand. Okay? CIA has carte blanche. They can go anywhere because they belong to the Queen of England and Vatican. And they all pay taxes to them and to the international bankers who like to mess up everything and cause all of these war crime wars, which are genocide, taking over countries, people's sovereignties and their countries. And then we get them as immigrants and refugees. I am here to break you out of your matrix, if that's what you want to call it, out of your bubble, because I don't want you to commit suicide to go along with their game, their propaganda. The COVID-19 has been patented. You should be educated enough to know what that means. Anything that's natural cannot be patented. If it's modified in a laboratory, it means it's not in nature. COVID-19 has been owned by the CDC, which is a private company, for 17 years. The other term for COVID-19 is SARS-CoV-2. It's patented and classified. They classified it on purpose because they don't want anybody getting a hold of it and access of its biological structure and function. And anybody that they give permission to have access to it has to sign a non-disclosure agreement or be sued in the multi-millions of dollars. But they have the possibility of gaining billions, if not trillions of dollars off of you as a human experiment with nanotech, like me. Nanotech Morgellons. NASA, space program. So please don't try and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. I would make mincemeat out of your little hematologists because they see me. They know me when I'm coming. They really know me. But then I'm also going back to school, but that's here nor there, especially this late in the game. Okay. And then how I got stuck in Sweden with a guy who literally had a daddy that was a Nazi SS officer in World War II in Germany, who still has a chip on his shoulder. I know, I have to question that all the time. His daddy faked his death. These people know the real game. The Americans, when they say they're stupid and we're unworldly, they're not kidding. We don't understand all this spycraft, all this garbage, hiding, being in disguise, wearing civilian clothing, pretending to be this, pretending to be that. Well, our government does it in spades. That's why the general calls it hybrid war. You can look it all up. It's called irregular, unconventional warfare. False flags. They just mean for urban guerrilla warfare on the civilian population, which is a war crime and genocide. And this is 1984 Big Brother's wet dream. Okay, nanotech, their TSA drones, why they want to defund the cops. So they can weaponize everything. And I can get very scary. I know people that retired from the FEMA camp. I won't go there because it really does get that dark and gruesome. They don't pay you. They rob you. They're thieves. They have absolutely zero to negative respect for you. It's a theft. They just want to know how you work biologically and steal it. And they can do this remotely with all the technology. Nanotech gives off frequencies wirelessly. Yes, it's called Body Area Network. BAN, B-A-N for short. You can always ask. We'll see how stupid they are, but the paramedics know about this, the fire department's ambulance, the ER. Yeah. But I'd listen to at least Robert F. Kennedy. I could even send you another one from FEMA, a woman who worked for FEMA camp. Retired from them. Scary. It's dark. But it might help you.